I'm getting a lot of questions about fat intake. What kind of fats am I supposed to be taking in? Am I supposed to cut back on fats when I've reached my ideal weight? Should I cut back on fats after I'm keto adapted? I know I've covered this before, but maybe it's just not been so specifically in a video by itself. So today I'm going to discuss the importance of fats as a macro, the importance of fats as you continue to eat and to stay in a ketogenic state. All right, I don't know who people are listening to that's telling them to cut back on their fats. All right, the ketogenic diet is a high fat, low carb, moderate protein diet. All right, it's if you have to pick one as which fat or which macro is the most important, it's gonna have to be the fats, because if you cut back on your carbs and you keep your proteins at a moderate level and you don't have your fats high enough, you're not gonna lose weight. It's just that simple. Every time somebody says, Gonzo, I'm not losing weight. I've lost that initial weight, but I'm not losing any more weight anymore. The first thing I say is, what's your fats at? I don't know. Well, how do you not know? You got to know if you're eating enough fats. Because if you take away carbs and you take away sugars, which is your former energy source, you have to replace it with fats. Now, if you think you're going to rely on your body to break down fat and use that once you get to a certain point, it's not going to happen that way. Your body is going to break down muscle, and it's going to break down sugar, or it's going to create some of its own sugar through some of the foods that you're eating. You have to continually to keep fat coming into your diet. It's just the way it is. It's still. Now, there's a doctor named Dr. Stephen Phinney. I'm going to go ahead and play his video clip that I have for you, where he talks about how to maintain a ketogenic state while, doing the ketogenic diet. All right, here it is.
That's a very good question, because figuring out how to make this kind of diet sustainable is the key to being on it long term, obviously. Mm-hmm. And a couple of key points. One of them is, when one is first on a low carbohydrate diet and losing weight, a fair amount of the energy that's burned each day comes from body fat stores. Mm-hmm. But once a person gets to a new healthy weight, if they want to stay in the keto adapted state, they cannot add more carbohydrate.
No.
They should eat protein in moderation, because high protein intakes reduce ketones. Mm-hmm. Not as efficiently as carbohydrates reduce ketones, but still, if you get up above 30% of energy as protein, you're no longer in a ketogenic state.
Okay.
So in order to have a weight-stable ketogenic diet, it must be a high-fat diet.
Right.
And in my case, I eat between 75 and 80% of my daily energy comes from fat.
Right. And I think that's a very...
All right. As you can see, he is very specific on maintaining a high-fat diet, okay? You don't just get to a point and then you stop saying, well, I'm not going to be high-fat anymore. It's not how it works. Your new energy source is fat. Keep eating the fat. You keep eating the fat, the body will also use your body fat. You don't have to say, well, it's one or the other. It's not. It uses both. It's going to use some of the food that you're bringing in. It's going to use some of the body fat that you have. Your appetite's going to be curbed. It's going to be harder for you to eat the amount of fat that you need. But you have to get the fats in. Okay, now some people ask me, well, what fats should I be eating? All right, pen and paper time. Grab pen and paper. Make sure you know what this is. This is the fats that you should have. Animal fats. Tallow, which is also like a lard. or lard if you want to do lard. All the fat drippings that you can get from whatever meats you're making, put them in a dish, put them in whatever you can, a can, whatever. Just like maybe your grandparents did. That's probably the first one that I would say, because it's going to be healthy for you. It's going to be really healthy. And that's going to also include butter, which I'm recommending grass-fed butter. It doesn't have a lot of that crap in it. I'm talking clarified butter. I'm talking ghee. Ghee is, if you don't know what it is, it's G-H-E-E. I'm going to leave a little picture right over here. Those are some of the main fats. All right. And then I would suggest going into fats like avocados, maybe Brazil nuts, macadamia nuts. Okay, these have a high fat content in them. Try like your oils, your olive oil, your red palm oil, your MCT oil, your coconut oil, your avocado oil. These are going to be the oils that you want to also use as well. Now, people ask me also about bulletproof coffee. It's a great way to get fat into your diet, okay? And it doesn't always have to be coffee. It could be bulletproof tea. It could be a bulletproof smoothie. I've made a bulletproof smoothie for you guys. So make a bulletproof out of anything. Just add butter and oil and whatever to it, and get, like, I'm telling you, I'm putting 2 or 3 tablespoons of each, so I know I'm getting 600 calories, which comes out, the grams that are all downstairs. Look on the labels. The labels are going to tell you by serving what you're doing. So if you have 3 servings of that butter, multiply that number by 3. If you have 3 servings of the MCT oil, multiply it by 3. If you get bacon and it says there's so many grams of fat per 2 slices, and if you have 2, then put it down. If you have 4, multiply it by 2. Just put down the amount of grams that you need to have, okay, or that you're having, so that it adds up to what you need to have. And I'm suggesting, honestly, I don't care if you're my size, 6'3", 250 pounds. I don't care if you're 5'5", 140 pounds. Okay, get 200 grams of fats in. Okay, that is a very good goal. Get to it. That is a high fat. Now, when I say a moderate protein, I'm talking about getting your protein below 100 and keeping it below 100. Okay, 100 is not the goal. 100 is the limit. 100 is the ceiling. Now, if you don't exercise that day, or if you don't really walk around much, if you don't, gosh, that light is bright. Hold on. Yeah, maybe that's a little better. I don't know. If you, gosh, now that light's bright. Anyway, gosh, let's see. Okay. Sun. The sun is bright today. All right. If you don't exercise, keep your proteins under 70. Keep them really low. They don't need to be over 80, 90, or getting close to 100. All right. Keep your carbohydrates under 20. I'm suggesting you do it in leafy green vegetables. Don't try to say, well, I could get this type of paleo bar or a keto drink, and this only has 12 grams of carbs, and then I could have these 8 grams of carbs on this protein cookie over here, or something like that. You really need to get them in leafy green vegetables, because the leafy green vegetables will benefit you by fixing your liver. All right. If you are overweight and your issue for the ketogenic diet is about your weight loss, then your liver is getting fatter. In order to clean it out and to make it work properly, you need to eat vegetables every day. And I have showed you how there's different ways to eat them. Like I put them in that smoothie, and I love that smoothie, and I drink it every day, and it's disgusting, but I love it because I know it's fixing my liver. Those bitter greens that I add with bone broth, those bitter greens that I add a little bit of MCT oil to them. I add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I do an apple cider vinegar every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes even more. I know that I'm cleaning out my liver, and I know that my liver is going to work more properly, and I know that it's going to get rid of more fat. It's going to process more fat for me. It's going to start working. All right. So the most important macro to me, and I'm going to tell you if you ask me, is fat. If somebody's telling you that fat is not that important, I don't want to say that they're lying or that they're just misinformed. It's probably the most PC thing I could say for them. They're misinformed, and I hate that they're misinforming you and confusing you and trying to get you to think that keto can be, the fat in keto can be turned down once you get to a certain point. Don't do it. Keto's high fat. Maintain the high fat. Keep the high fat going. It will benefit you, and you will get results. You just have to continually to do the diet the way it was figured out, the way Dr. Stephen Phinney pointed out, the way other doctors like Dr. Eric Westman will point out, people like Jeff Volek will also point that out. These are the guys that pioneered the ketogenic diet to the mainstream, to people, okay? These are the guys that are telling you, eat high fat, okay? I'm telling you, because I learned from these guys, I've had the success from these, you maintain high fat, okay? And if you don't think you're getting enough fat in, then you're probably not. You will know when you're getting enough fat in. You'll just know. You are gonna have to. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to get enough fat in. I'm not saying force it, but when you are hungry, make sure you get a lot of fat in when you're hungry. Okay. That's my fat video for you guys. I hope this helps. I hope my friends in Australia see my little Australia hat I wear a lot. I'm up in my attic. That's why all the pitched weird roofs. Anyway, so I don't know. Oh, I think I filmed one other video here, my leg video. Anyway, all right, guys. I still need some suggestions on the live. What I'm leaning towards is probably Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and another time that's random in the morning. I don't have a fixed schedule in the morning. I do have a fixed schedule at 5, you know, even a little earlier sometimes, but some more people are aiming towards an early evening. So I will probably end up doing my live videos Tuesdays at 5. It's not written in stone yet, but it's pretty close. It's probably where I'm leaning towards. I'm almost about 90% going to pick that day. I'll probably decide that over the next couple of days if I get more suggestions from you guys. But I hope to see you guys all at the live sessions when I start them. The first one will probably be next week, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I hope the fat issue is fixed. I hope that you're no longer confused. I hope you know that you need to get a lot of fat in and to continuously keep the fat coming in. And that's how the ketogenic diet works. Thanks, guys. Bye.